happens. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Thank you everyone for the notes about a lack of audio. So now we have audio. So where were we? So where we were was I was perusing Amazon and I saw this like advertised and I bought one. It's like $250. It is an Android TV with a TV built in. So it's like built into the TV. And they call this a kitchen TV, hence all the food. And the reason why I bought this, and I'm not sure if my wife is going to approve of it in the kitchen, but after I unbox it and set it up, I will put it up there and then see what she says. Because right now in the kitchen, we have one of those little Nest screen things, you know, the Google Assistants. And where it is too far from the kitchen counter, and I can never see what's on the screen. So this is a 24-inch device, and it integrates Android TV, so I could watch my HD home run and my live television along with other stuff, because you really can't do, I guess you could do live TV if you had YouTube TV, which I don't have. So, you know, I thought I would pick this up. And if it's great, great. If not, we will sell it to one of you. Okay, so what do we have on here? Google Assistant, hands-free built in, so you can talk to it like you could a whatever. Chromecast built in, 2 HDMI inputs. So it's like a whole deal here. So that's that. So there you go. And I appreciate everybody letting me know that we had some audio issues, which we no longer have. And we had a nice comment here from Dog Wizard. You can see my arm, but not my voice. And now you can hear the voice. And then the other thing that happened, so let me tell you what happened as I was about to start today's stream. I was coming downstairs to get set up, and I noticed, so we have a bit of a drought here in Connecticut, and I have well water. And I noticed that the water in a few of the toilet bowls did not have a good color to it. And as it turns out, my filter in there hadn't been changed in a long time. So I had to go do that. Got water everywhere. Changed the filter, ran out of filters, loaded up the salt and the water softener. But I have a feeling because of this drought, we're hitting like the more silty part of the water because it's not a very high water table right now. So I'm hoping that we don't run out of water because that would be bad. All right, cost on this on Amazon is $247.50. And if you click the link in the description, it'll take you right to it. And I think this might be a really good little, because if you like Google stuff, I didn't even know this existed until I saw this advertised. And I said, oh, I got to get one of these. Because I know it'll be really helpful for my kitchen, depending on how big it appears. My wife is very particular about what goes into that area, because the only place in the house that I have control over is where I live, down here in the basement. I don't actually live down here, but you know what I mean. All right, so we have a quick start guide. And then they want me to read this first. So what's in the box? We have a TV, a quick start guide, a controller, and this. And we need to take it all out of the box. Pretty self-explanatory. All right. Yeah, Greg M says you don't want to have to dig a deeper well. I am fortunate that I don't have to drill anymore if we do run low, because I think they drilled like 500 feet and we're only down like 250 or something. I forgot what the number was, but we would not have to re-drill, but we would have to go lower. And I've never had water problems here before, so I'm hoping that there's enough water in the water table, but we're in like a real drought right now, so I'm hoping that it starts raining. We did get a little bit of rain last week, so that was good. By the way, this is super light. When you pick this box up, it feels like there's nothing in it. But, all right, so there it is. Not bad. You know, it's the decor should match a kitchen, right? Let's get the thing zoomed in here a little bit. Now, this is a TV, which means that it should be able to pick up stuff over the air. And I think there's a tuner built in. And then you also have to have the Energy Star guide here in the US. So estimated yearly cost is $7. And on the price range, it looks like it consumes more energy than your normal set. And that's likely because it's got the Android TV and the speaker system. So it says it's got like 16-watt speakers. So it should sound pretty good. And it's all like one integrated package. And again, I'm attracted to this because it's Android TV, and I love Android TV. Okay, so let's see what we get out of here. Yeah, so this is a TV and not a monitor, 1080p. It's got built-in Android. It's a smart TV, but it's got a a speaker below it, and I'm curious what that speaker will sound like, and we'll find out when we get this thing going here. We'll have to pick some YouTube-safe music to play. And again, I just kind of like this concept for the kitchen. And some folks are saying, well, you could get like a tablet and put that in there, but my wife has specific aesthetic requirements. So like having just a tablet in there probably wouldn't have, well, it's loud, wouldn't have cut it. All right, so it's booting up. And while it's booting, let's take a look and see what it has here on the back. So I think I'm going to actually plug this into my network just to get the best performance. So let's zoom in on the port selection here. So, antenna input. It did not come with an antenna in the box, so you're going to have to provide that. I don't get anything over the air, but maybe we'll try and see if we can get something. So you got an antenna connector here for your over the air. Looks like it's got a USB port. That is a USB 2 port, 5 volts, half amp, not a lot of power. So you could probably plug a hard drive or a memory stick in there or something like that. Optical, out, that's great. 2 HDMI ins, Ethernet. So let's connect up Ethernet and just get this thing on my network. And then we don't have to go through the whole Wi-Fi rigmarole. But it supports Wi-Fi, of course, because what doesn't these days, right? So we'll just plug in a little Ethernet, get that going. Okay. All right, so let's zoom this out. I would imagine the display, and we'll look at this. I don't think the display is going to be spectacular on this, but we will see. And some folks are saying that it's kind of bulky. It is a little bit bulky. I think this is like your kitchen utility kind of device. And I'm guessing it's going to be a matter of personal taste at the end of the day. I have a big open area for my kitchen, so I'd want something that, and by the way, I paid for this with my own funds. This isn't a freebie or anything. David's Devices is logging in from the Amazon chat. What I'm trying to do right now is just get the battery compartment open here so we can get the remote going. And here we go. And we don't see like all that many official Android TV devices out there, so I thought this might be kind of a fun little review. Greg M says no VESA mounts. Yeah, this is designed to sit exactly as you see it. It is, it's completely. Oops, I just lost my phone. It is completely attached to this, so you can't do anything other than what you see here. Although it looks like you could take it apart. They have some screw holes there. And you know what else is interesting? There is there's a Kensington lock here, so you could lock it down on your desk. So this could work. You could like set this up if you got like an Airbnb or something like that, right? Lock it down. And it doesn't move at all, so it is in this position. That is it. So let's get it repositioned here. Okay, so let's get these batteries in the controller. And yeah, I think so I'll put up a couple of comments as they're flying in here. Alan Nicholas says he would love to see something like this as a smaller set, a 12-inch set. I bet you that this is like a test market kind of thing where they release one to see how it does, and they probably have some data to suggest that they're if they're seeing, what's going on here? They probably have some data that suggests that they're seeing people with, all right, something just happened, just turned off. They're seeing people like buying this size, so that could be what it is. I don't know. But to some degree, yeah, it probably could work without the speaker component. And then I'll ask for some help here as we move our way through. So for those of you tuning in late, if those who are in here now can help answer questions on price. And the best way to find the price is to click on the link in the description to take you over to Amazon. And the answer to this question from Adra NMC is that it's a 24-inch display. So that's what you got here. And I guess you're going to need a big kitchen for this, because it is big for a kitchen TV. But if you got like a big, so like my kitchen is this big open thing, so this actually would be helpful. And I just got to fix one thing because I had something fall and it just took down my transmitter and all that stuff. There we go. Okay. That's better. Okay, so let's go and set this thing up. Set up your TV with an Android phone or tablet. As a matter of fact, I have an Android TV, or an Android phone. I have like 5 of them now, so let me go grab one of the ones that I have. Maybe we'll do the Pixel 5 here. Okay, so I've got my, I've got my phone here, so we can say, yes, we'll do the phone. Open the app called Google on the phone. So we'll do Google. All right. And we'll hit next. In the search box, say, set up my device. Okay, so I could say it, but then I have to do the you know what. And we'll have plenty of that coming up. So set up my device. All right, get started. And my phone screen's a little blown out here, but let's see what happens. And it's going to search for devices. And we should see Philips TV 727. And Travis Cunningham has a great comment here because I have the exact same thing in my kitchen. I have the Google Home in my kitchen. And my Google Home is just really small. The screen is really small for the room it's in. So this might do better. We'll see. I can tell you already that the display looks very cold to me. It's not a very warm display, so it's a little on the blue side. Just in looking at the contrasting of this really nice display versus this one. Okay, so let's copy. Got to verify with my fingerprint here. Oops. Okay, so I just need to connect my Google account. And then this will carry over. So let me just do this real quick. I have to sign in with my password here. Let's do that real quick. All right. And now it's receiving my account information. And all of the devices in my house are beeping because I just had to sign in somewhere, right? Start using TV remote. Accept that. And I'm guessing that we're going to have a firmware update on this when it's done. Okay, so choose a name. Why don't we call this, so call this a Philips TV. I'm going to actually call this a kitchen TV, which I think is what the best designation is for it. So let's call it. And it helps too because I've got like things that can take Chromecasts all over the house, and it's probably easier to just do it that way. So we'll call this kitchen. Yeah, so I will say the display, like sitting this close to it, doesn't look great. Like it's not, it's got a pretty visible screen door effect on here, but I'm sitting close to it, so we'll see what happens. All right, we are not selling this TV, so we'll leave it on home mode. I guess you can set it up if you own a TV store. All right, we're going to skip this for now, although it supports cable. The problem where I am is that my cable doesn't have anything that's not encrypted. But if we had an antenna that works, we could use that. I'm going to try that later. And I have to hold the, oh, okay, it's connecting to our remote here. Let's see. There it goes, it's paired up. So I'm hoping that I could still issue a voice command to this versus having to use the remote. It said hands-free, so I think that'll work. All right. Now, by the way, if you have Google devices, because normally in my reviews I will always like mute out stuff, but because we're doing a live stream, we won't be able to do that. Okay. So, here we are. And it looks pretty much like your usual thing. Now this is the only difference here is this live TV thing, and I'm guessing this is live channels that we usually see on Android TV. So let's see if it can find the network source. So we don't have, so I guess I have to install, usually it finds my HD home run right on the network here.
Tampa Bay pastor has been arrested for violating coronavirus
social
distancing.
How do I turn the volume down on here? This is all like just, it plays like trailers and stuff. So let's go over to, this is like Google Play Music, movies here. So let me go back to the Google Play Store. Well, I can tell you what I like about this so far is that I'm not seeing a lot of junk on here, which is good. And this is not going to have the newer interface that we saw with the Chromecast last week, because this is not, doesn't have that. But what I want to do real quick is look for live channels, because then I can get my HD home run integrated. Actually, I think I have to install the app first. HD home run. So we'll get my HD home run going on here. Oops, HD home run. So let's install this real quick. So Travis has a good question here also, is the ability to send a recipe from phone to Google Home Hub in the kitchen is a great thing. Yeah, I don't know if it does that. I've been using like direct questions for it, so we'll try that in a second and see. Give me a recipe I should ask for, and we'll try that. Now I think what happens is now that I have this app installed, it should link up with the HD home run in the other room. Let's see. So we have Dr. Phil here, and I'm getting the captioning because I have it muted right now. And let me get off of this because I already got like hit with a copyright thing last week because of some stuff I was demoing on a live stream that nobody watched after it was over with, but months later I got a copyright notice on it. So let me go to like something that is not going to give us a hard time. We'll pull up QVC here. That should be safe. Maybe not. All right, so we got that, and then we're good there. So HD home run, good to go. Okay, so now, and this is over the network. It's a network tuner, and now I think if I go back here. Yep, so now it's seeing new sources from that app, and I can say set up now. And I can grab it from the HD home run input. And that's what I like about the HD home run stuff, is that if you have one of these on your network, Android TV just finds it when the app is installed. So you can see it just added 162 channels. Okay, so there we go. All right, so we're done there. And now if I go to my program guide, you can see now that I've got my entire cable subscription here. And I have this because I have the HD Home Run Prime, which unfortunately is not made anymore. So this is kind of a unique anomaly at the moment. But you can still find these things out there. So there you go. I'm just trying to find things that won't get me kicked off of YouTube. So we can do my public access station here. There you go. All right, so that works. So we got the TV going already. And DC147 is asking, is that using YouTube TV? No, this is using my HD home run tuner, which is a great set of network tuners. And in full disclosure, they are an occasional sponsor here on the channel. But that's what I use here. So I use it with a cable card. I have it in the closet over there. And so what it does, and they have over-the-air tuners also. So what they do is they bring in your over-the-air or your cable TV and just put it out in the network. So it's just out there. And then anything that can take it can grab it. All right, so let's check and see what Android version we have. So let me go down to About. And, ooh, this is old. So it's running Android 8. The security patch is July of 2019. That's not good. So let's see if there's an update. This is my biggest complaint. See this? Check it again. This is my biggest complaint with Android, is that you buy a device and they never update it. I mean, seriously? So Android 8, and again, we're dealing, and Android 11 is, I think the new Chromecast is on 11, right? So, interesting. Okay, so that's a knock. And my biggest complaint, not so much is the Android version, because if it works, it works. But we're dealing with a security patch level here in 2019. And there's no update available. So, Okay, so that's the answer to that question. So we got that going. Now, I really want to know what kind of performance we can see out of this. So I think what we'll do next is we'll grab the 3D Mark benchmark. And the good news is that it's like basic Android TV, so there's nothing, like there's no added fluff on here. It's pretty basic. It seems like it navigates pretty well, so the performance, at least for consumer-y kind of stuff, is okay. There are updates available for all of its built-in apps, so I'll probably let those go happen now so we can start getting those going. And then we'll look for 3D Mark. And we'll go up here to the 3D Mark. So it's not all bad, right? I mean, it's pretty responsive. Okay, so now, what about simple voice commands? Because I don't want to pick up the remote in the kitchen with greasy hands, right? So let's take a look at that. So let's see if it's got an option for, it'll block offensive words if you say an offensive word to it. So probably under the assistant maybe, let's see. Oops. Let me back out here for a second. Okay, so we have to turn on the OK you know what detection. So that's not on by default. And now it's on. Okay, so let's see what happens with the recipes, because that was something that Travis was asking about. So, hey Google. That didn't work. Although my phone is here, so let me turn the phone off so it doesn't get confused. Oops. Okay, Google. Hey, Google. Am I an idiot for just like screaming at this thing? Hey, Google. Okay, Google. I think I just muted something here too. Let's see. Hey, Google. Well, that's a problem. So we're going to have to dig into this a little bit. Because that's why you would get this, right, would be to do the OK Google thing, right? Okay, so I have to go here and allow all this stuff. Okay, so I didn't apparently do all the steps here. Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll get that going. And then I got a couple other things to check out. John Mochi wants me to check out Netflix in HD. And that'll give us an idea as to whether or not it supports all this stuff here. So let me go log into my YouTube. I don't know why it's bringing me to YouTube all of a sudden. So we'll try that out in a minute. And Rob Hanks says if you update the firmware, you can go to Android 9 and beyond. So Rob, you know what would be really helpful would be to let me know what you do to update the firmware, because I went into the update, the OTA update, and there wasn't anything there. So I'm guessing there has to be something else we need to do. All right. So there we go. So let's get through all this. All right, I know how to use this. Okay, so apparently now we're active. So let's try this again. Okay, your Google Assistant is now available. Okay. So I think we're ready to go. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, Google, give me a crock pot recipe. Ah, yeah, so it doesn't look like it's got like the Google, because there's no touch on here either. Because one of the things that Travis was talking about was like with the Google Home devices, you can ask it for a recipe and then you can kind of swipe through different things. And here, when I asked for a crockpot recipe, I got a bunch of YouTube videos, which is what you would normally get on an Android TV. In the box, what did the box have? Because the box looked different. Where did I put the box? Here it is. So the box, I'm just trying to, I always like to look at like what's marketed. Yeah, so here's what the box says you can do. So you get all this stuff here. But it looks like, maybe I should ask it for the same thing that's on the box. Let's try that. Hey, Google, give me a baked salmon recipe. Yeah, it's all just like YouTube results. Interesting. Jesse Robinson has a good question, a good suggestion, which is to look for separate TV settings from the Android settings. So let's go in and look at that. That's the thing like that gets me about this stuff, is that you don't get, like, it should all be integrated, right? I mean, we're not talking about, all right, let's see if we can go through here and see. So we have that retail mode we saw earlier. So there's inputs, network, Google Class Sound. Yeah, the only thing I see, if I go to About and System Update, so Rob is on the hunt right now to see if we can figure out how to get this TV firmware updated. He's also able to send a recipe from his Google phone search to his home. Okay, so let's try that. So I'm going to try that real quick on my phone. So we'll look at, let's try to look at doing something like that. So let's say, oops. Let's say chicken soup crock pot recipe. Yeah, so now I've got specific recipe results. Okay, so there is an assistant thing here. So let's go back to the home screen. And I just hit, okay, so let's go back to the home screen. I'm going to hit the assistant button because that's what Travis has been doing on his. Okay. Okay, Google, start recipe. And I'm getting the same YouTube results. So I think it's only this is not considered a smart display. So all you're going to get is YouTube on that. Rob wants to know, what's the specific model number on this? The model number, if you're ready, is 24 PFL. Here, I'll show it on screen here so you can see it. 24 PFL 6704/F7. That's the model number. Okay, so next thing we want to do, all right, Travis says there's also a cook button with the search result. Yeah, so if I go, yeah, so here's the cook button. So if I click the cook button, and it says start recipe with your smart display. So if I do that, by the way, this is the Pixel 5 I reviewed the other day, nice phone. If I say start recipe, it doesn't really like start the recipe. Let me try it with the button here and see if that does anything different. Start recipe. Yeah, so it just pulls up like the prior command that we issued it earlier. So we'll have to see where that goes. So I think I just saved Travis some money because it doesn't look like it has that recipe integration. And what the Google displays typically do is they, not the TVs, but the actual smart displays, is they'll start the recipe and you can kind of, swipe through it and stuff and just kind of go and do its thing. So you don't get that here. All right, so we got that in there. So let's see where the app installations are at to make sure it's all up to date. Because what I want to do now is just run a quick benchmark on it just to get a feel for what it might have under the hood. And I think these have all been updated now. So I'm not seeing any updates available. Okay, so we're good there. Okay. Yeah, that's what Travis makes a good point, because this is like, and I don't know, I mean, the question really comes down to like, what's the consumer expectation? Are consumers really aware that that's the workflow on the smart devices? But you're right, because you look at this and you're seeing like results for recipes, right? But we're not actually getting recipes, we're getting YouTube videos. So let me do the exact search, because the example here is cooking recipes. So let's try that. Okay, Google, cooking recipes. Yeah, so we're just getting YouTube videos. That's all it's giving me. Sorry, I was on the wrong camera here. Okay, so Rob says developer settings, click build number 7 times. That'll unlock some more features. Okay, so let's go over to, now if that's what you have to do to get this thing upgraded, that's going to be crazy. So let's go to developer settings. Where is that? It must be in about. Let's go back a notch here. I'm not seeing developer settings on here at all. I mean, the good news is at least that it's pretty basic. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't have some garbage layered on. You can adjust the picture. We can switch inputs here. So HDMI 1 is an audio return channel also, so that's interesting. So if you had a home theater, I guess you could hook. Actually, I bet you that ARC is for the speaker down here. But actually, that wouldn't make sense, would it? Because you'd want to have HDMI 2 also go through those speakers. All right. So let us take a look at the next question that people had, which was Netflix. And the question was, can it do HD? And that we will find out. So I'm just going to sign in real quick. Ugh. You know what I'm going to do to speed this up? Where did my, I don't have it nearby. All right, I'm just going to log into Netflix real quick and get that going. Sorry, I have to do this because it's like passwords and stuff. So the question is whether or not this will support okay, about build. Okay, so we have to go about and then build 7 times, and that'll get us. And yeah, we got a bunch of questions here, so hopefully I'll get to all of those. And what you'll also find with this stuff is that a lot of these TVs have varying degrees of relationships. So, for example, there was an Android version of Amazon Prime TV for the NVIDIA Shield long before it was available for any other Android TV devices, right? So this is the kind of stuff that you will encounter. And I have a feeling we're not going to see Amazon on this, but we'll take a look in a minute when we get into it a little bit further, because Amazon doesn't have a deal with Philips, or they may not, or they may, who knows, we'll find out in a second. And we won't find like Apple TV on this. Like there's going to be a bunch of stuff that won't be on here. Okay, so now we are in Netflix. And we'll jump into, so the question is whether or not we'll see any HD stuff, right? So let's go into episodes. I just want to like browse one. They have like a new season of this, of Unsolved Mysteries already. How about that? Okay, so it says HD. So we are and I'm assuming that's coming in at 1080 and not 720. I just can't play it because we'll get hit with a copyright thing. So let's go and look at the get help, I think is where it'll tell us everything. So usually it tells you like what version. You may have to go and download something else for that. Okay. So according to the FAQ, the Android 9 update was released on 8/31/2020. So that's what it appears as though is the deal. All right, so we're going to have to figure that out a little bit. So I was told if we go into the About section and hit the build 7 times, we'll get a little bit more info there. So let's go over to that. By the way, this is a new thing that's happening on Android TVs. They're starting to get advertisements rolled in. I haven't seen these on my NVIDIA Shield, but I've heard this is something new, and this is all paid placement. And I wonder if HBO Max is on this. Let's hit that and see what happens. Okay, so HBO Max is available, so that's good. What else do we have on here? Disney Plus, we knew that was on there. Okay, so let's go to, I watched that West Wing thing the other night. It was pretty good. You know what's interesting about the West Wing thing is the strength of the company is so, the actors are so good that you don't notice there isn't a set, really. They did a nice job with it. All right. Especially because they haven't played the characters in a long time. And I would imagine that they, oh, okay, here we go. We hit the secret something. What is that? I don't know what this is. All right, let's see. Hang on, I'm just trying to find, I'm losing track of in the About section, click build number 7 times. Okay, so let's go back to the build number. I have software version, but not build number. Maybe it's in here. Let's see, status, serial number, MAC address, yada, yada. version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing. Oh, build is right here. Okay. All right, now I'm a developer. Thank you for the super chat, Toys for Boys. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. If I search for the title test patterns, the video will show you what res it's running at. Oh, cool. Is that for Netflix or everything? All right, so there we go. Let's go see if we can find what other TV apps are on here. So let's go to Get More. We got Disney Plus, Peacock, Pluto. See all the freebie stuff. And now that I'm a developer, I could sideload stuff in that's not on here. But I'm not seeing Amazon Prime. It's got Wonder Boy, though. So let's do a search for that. Amazon Prime Video.
Here's Prime Video on the Google Play Store.
Yeah, so it's not compatible. It would, I mean, it is, but they don't have a deal, so you're not getting that on there. Okay, so we're going to go into Netflix real quick and do the test pattern and see what we get for resolution. So let's go back, and we'll go over here to search. So we'll look for a test pattern. I didn't know. This is like a little secret part of Netflix I wasn't aware of. Test patterns, is this what we're looking for? This is a collection of video test patterns organized by source resolution and native frame rate. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Oh, so it's only at 720p right now. Let's back out of that again real quick. So it says HD, but it's not 1080p HD. Isn't that interesting? Or less, maybe I got to pick the right one here. Okay, so, oh, I see. So let's do 1080p. So we'll do 1080p 60 frames per second. Let's see what we get there. Yep. No, it's still 720 it says up here. So we'll try one of the 4K ones probably won't work, but let's just do this one. Yeah, it's still coming in at 720p. Huh. Yeah, the multi-bit rate stream will show different reds at the top, so it's only running at 720p. Oh, Mr. T-Bone says this is only a 720p display. Let's take a look at the specs on this. I thought it was 1080p. Well, that would explain it. So let's see. I'm going to check out the, that might explain why it didn't look that high res to me when I was playing with it. I mean, for a kitchen set, it's fine, right? But yeah, there's like zero information about this thing. All right, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to go check out the Amazon listing. Let me back out of this. That's good to know that that exists, though, so we can see some of that stuff. So let's go to the Amazon product page and have a look at what this is all about. Philips Kitchen TV. And part of the fun thing about doing these things live is I literally just took this thing out of the box. So I haven't even played with it yet. All right, so let me get my desktop capture app up here, and we'll take a look at exactly what this is about. All right, so here is the product listing. Let me pull this up for you all to see. So give me 1 second here. We're going to just grab that. And you can follow along. If you click the Amazon link in the video description, you can see exactly what I'm looking at here. All right, so we're going to pull this up. All right, so here's the deal, as they say. Here's the deal. Okay, the deal is, so I don't like it when things aren't clear to consumers. And there's not much detail on this product listing, so that's the other problem. Yeah, it doesn't say it's 1080p, does it? In fact, it doesn't list any resolution. It just says it's a 24-inch TV. So that's it. It's just 720p. And I think this is not like an Amazon. Yeah, this is being sold by some third-party seller. So that's why there's not a lot of detail here, because normally a listing on Amazon would have more. So let's go to the answered questions. Cannot attach to the wall. Somebody was asking about Xfinity. So we can search for Xfinity real quick on here. Xfinity. I'm not sure if I have access to Xfinity because I pay for like the bare minimum package. Xfinity Comcast app. Yeah, there's nothing on there. Let's go search the old-fashioned way on the store. Let's see what we get. So that explains why I was mentioning a bit of a screen door effect to the screen, because it's only 720p. So if you're sitting this close to it, obviously it's not going to look great. So this is not as good of a deal as I thought it was, because I thought I was getting a 1080p display here, right? So like, you know, for the price, yeah, it's not bad. $250, 1080p? Nope, 720p. All right, so let's do a quick search. I think that'll be helpful for people, because if you're looking at this thing, wow, what a neat little kitchen TV. But you don't get all the function. You get a good Android TV. I mean, I'm not totally upset with it, because we do get a really nice, plain, raw Android TV kind of experience with it. So that's good. But the resolution is a bit disappointing. And I've got something else that came in from Lenovo recently that I think mixes. I think it mixes the Google Home experience with an Android TV. It's a tablet. So it's not, it's Android in the background and then the Google experience overlaid on it. I think that's what it is. Or it might be, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. All right, so I do a search here for Xfinity. I get nothing. Now, for me though, I can watch it because I have the HD Home Run tuner, so I'm able to pull in the cable card stuff. So that's been working fine. So there you go. All right. So that is, that's one knock against it there. So let's take a look at audio quality, shall we? So let's go back out to the opening here. I've got a, let's see if I can find my Nantucket video, because that's all YouTube safe music. So let's search for that. Lon.TV extras Nantucket. That failed. Let's see. Lon.TV extras. Oh, I have to push it once maybe on this? Okay, let's try it again. I'm trying not to trigger your devices. I could issue a voice command, but I don't want to trigger your devices. Lon.TV extras Nantucket.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Lon.TV extras Nantucket. She doesn't understand that. Lon.TV extras Nantucket YouTube. This search is not going to go well. All right, we'll just go and load it up on YouTube. All right, so let's check that out. Now this is going to be, this was a 4K 60 video that I shot. And look at that, we can actually watch live. This is now. Not then, now. If you watch Spaceballs, you'll get that one. Okay, so let's go over to so we're going to look for Nantucket. I think I've searched for this before, so it should show up. Yeah, there we go. Nantucket Lon.TV. So we can search for that, and then, oh, it's not coming up on here. I think I have to do maybe, so I have this video with music, safe music on it, so that should hopefully be okay. You know what's interesting too is that if you do a search on the YouTube desktop, the history will follow you to your TV, which is really convenient. So the other day, I have a friend of mine who's a police officer, and there was this the show Live PD that was on for a while on A&E, and there was this great officer from Warwick that had like some really funny clips on YouTube. So I wanted to send that to him, and I had searched on my computer, and then I came to my TV to look for something, and then that search was still there on the TV after I had done it on the computer. That was kind of neat. All right, so let's take a look at the music. So I'm going to rewind it here. Now you can't obviously get a sense as to what I'm hearing, but I'll tell you what I hear. It's loud. Actually, it's not bad. It's got some bass to it. It's not like, it's not tinny. I mean, I'd say the higher frequency sounds are a little on the tinny side, but it's got, you know, it's got some room in here. So, and I don't know if this desk is the best surface to have it on, but it's pretty good. It's loud. Yeah. So, I'm not going to call this audiophile quality, but it's got a good range of sound. You know, for the kitchen, it's not bad. So if you were listening to music or something, it sounds good. I'm not complaining there. Good stuff. So that's pretty good. Let me see if I'm. Oh, we got a lot of people tuning in today. And we got oh, by the way, we got another super chat from Toys Are for Boys about the resolution. So yeah, it looks like, where did it go? Oh, right here, it just came in. So the official specs of this, and this is going to be something to point out in the review, because I put my reviews up on Amazon also. So it's got an LED WXGA 1366 by 768. So that is why it's got such a screen door when you're looking at it close like that. I mean, I think if you're in the kitchen and you know you're backing away from it, that it won't look bad in the kitchen, but it's definitely, I would say the quality of the display is not a $250 display by any stretch. It's cold, low resolution, not good. Speakers, good. I like the speakers, so I'm okay with that. I like the fact that you don't need to use the remote for voice commands. I like that. You got live TV built in. If you have a tuner, you can watch live. So that's good.
Have you received any questions?
I have one question.
I'm not sure what they're playing here. So that's good. I like that it's raw Android TV, so that's exciting. So, you know, there's some redeeming qualities here, but interesting. By the way, if you want to see the product page, click on the video description, and below that you will find a link to Amazon. It should be in there. That will take you over to Amazon to find exactly what I'm playing with here. So it's not, I don't think it's a $250 TV. Maybe $189 would be a better price, perhaps. I mean, the speakers are good, so I think that it's got that going for it. We should probably run the benchmark now and see how it stacks up with some of the other devices that we have tested here on the channel. And to do that, I like to run the 3D Mark benchmark. And they've got a couple of, they have a new one, a multi-platform. We're going to do another stream tomorrow because I've got like 3 or 4 PCs that have to go back to their homes. So I figured before we leave, we'll run this new one called the Wildlife Test, which, sorry, requires Android 10. We're not running that. So we'll do some test runs of that. And we got to figure out if there's a way to update the firmware on this TV. It doesn't appear to be a way to do that. All right, so we're going to download the Slingshot benchmark, which is what we run on everything. Oh yeah, we got to test Chromecasting on this too. So let me take in some more questions here. So Harry is Awesome asks, would I recommend this over the new Chromecast? Probably not. I would probably get an inexpensive 1080p TV and link the Chromecast up with that. The one difference here is that you got a nice speaker and you don't need to use the remote to issue voice commands. The Chromecast needs the remote. So that is the one thing that might dissuade some folks. I'm just going to turn the demo off here, and we'll go ahead and hit the play button. I like to do the unlimited test. Oops, it's not doing it. Because they have one that renders off screen, so it's a very consistent result from one to the next. Let me get out of this for a second. So why don't I see the option for the unlimited test? Go back into settings maybe. Oops. Yeah, it's on there, Slingshot Unlimited, and it is installed. Maybe I got to hold down the button or something on that. The one thing that this does not lend itself to is the remote interface on 3D Mark can be a little bit off. Let's just run it this way and see what we get. Mr. T-Bone wants to know, does Live.TV work with the coax input in the back? It should, yes. And I think I have an antenna upstairs, which I might go and get. And we'll check that out and see. Don't be too discouraged by the frame rates you're seeing here. What matters is the score, although it doesn't look like we've got a very powerful Android TV under the hood here. Michael Brandis says, thanks for checking on Xfinity. Yeah, now you could probably sideload a lot of the apps that aren't available on it to get it to work. I don't like to recommend doing that just because there's some, there could be some security issues. You don't know where these things are coming from, so that's where it goes. And we'll let the rest of this test run through here and see what we get. Yeah, I'm not anticipating a very powerful Android TV device under the hood here. I think I can install CPU-Z and see what they have on that. So we'll figure it out. And then John Smith says, that's a big base. Yeah, I think, it's funny. I saw this and said, I think this is something people might find of interest. Because I get a lot of views on the YouTube channel for Android TV devices. And I was expecting a little more, I'm not criticizing you viewers, I was expecting a little more enthusiasm from you all. But it's good to get your take on it, because that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for, is that if there's not a lot of enthusiasm for this, I might do something else first before I review this one, right? So I use these as kind of like little focus groups to see what we can get out of these things. UK Vapor wants to know, can you download a VPN? Yeah, I think anything you could download on an Android device, you can download here, you can sideload, you can do all of that. It looks like a pretty stock Android installation, but it's only Android 8, not 9, not 10, not 11. So it's like way behind, and its security update, that's what surprised me the most so far, is that the security update is from 2019 on a name brand product, unless this is like overstock from Philips. Maybe they're just getting rid of them. I don't know. But that's the one risk you run when you buy these off-brand Android devices. Like, they're updated. They don't get updated. They get what they get, and that's it. So Joshua Talley says if you go to settings, yeah, no, we did go through all the settings trying to see if there was a firmware update somewhere. Somebody was looking into on the chat whether or not there was a firmware we could push on down to it. Oh, this is a good question from Chad Hafner. I'm going to put this in my notes here. So we'll try that in a second. Whether or not the assistant will work when the TV is off. So let's record our score here, and then we'll move on and try that out next and see what we get. And I've got like another 20 minutes, then I've got to go get the kids all settled in for dinner time and everything. We're trying to get the kids to bed early tonight because they have not been going to bed early. We get them in bed, but they don't fall asleep because they're a little stir crazy. They've been going back to school though, which is good. So they had a full day of school today. And my oldest has, they're in 7 days a week now, or 7 days, 5 days a week now, for as long as we can go before circumstances change. But school's been going well. They've been, elementary school is very, I think, easier to keep under control. All right, so this is the 3D Mark Slingshot. And again, I couldn't get the unlimited one to run, so I'm going to try to, I may come back to this number, but let's take a look at what we're getting here. So we have in our master database here, let me close out one, okay. In our master database here, we have a list of all the things that we have tested over the years. And where this one comes in at is like one notch above the Nook tablet from many moons ago. So not very powerful. It's about where like the Amazon HD 8 tablet was 2 years ago. So this is like an older processor. So the number here, let's see, Philips kitchen TV, I'll call it. And our score is 337, 1.8 frames per second on test 1, 1.0 frames per second on test 2. Physics test, this is like the CPU measurement, 17.70 and 8.7 FPS and 4.2. So it is at the bottom of the performance bucket for every other device that we have tested, just to give you an idea. Now, it's not that bad in the sense that if you were to buy the Fire TV Stick 4K or 2020, it's about where those two come in. You know what I mean? So these are not gaming devices. They are optimized for video decoding. That's the main purpose of these things, not to play games, but to decode video. So there you go. What we could do, I'm not even sure how much storage it has, so let's take a look at that. I got like no specs on this thing. I think somebody can email me, or somebody will email me some specs on all of this. By the way, I bought this because I thought my wife might like it for the kitchen. So actually, let me answer that one question about the assistant when it's off. So let's turn the TV off. Okay, so now it's off. And I'm just going to issue a command out of the blue. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 3:52 p.m.
Oh, so it stays on. So that's good. That is good. Oh, Rob Hanks did some research for us, by the way. And looks like we're stuck with Android 8 Oreo for now. It looks like they're doing some quarterly firmware updates, so we may get Pi down the line. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Thank you for looking into that, Rob. I appreciate it. And Monty says it's got a MediaTek SoC. Yeah, that's probably where they usually go. So that is where it is. But it's good. This works without the TV being on. That's good. So let's see what else we could ask it. Okay, Google, show me the Lon.TV YouTube channel.
Here you go.
So, oh, look at that. It turned the TV back on. And it just, you see what it just did here? Every once in a while when I meet people, I'll say, my name is Lon. People have a hard time with that because they're not used to hearing someone named Lon. And every once in a while, I get somebody that'll say, Oh, like mow the lawn? And it's not just like one person that's done that over the years. It's been many. And now my assistant here does the same thing. So it looks like it keeps the, and this would be the same as what you would have with the, like with the NVIDIA Shield and everything else. It kind of keeps itself on standby. So even when you think it's off, it's not really off. Now there's a separate power button here. I'm not sure what this does. So let me push this and see what happens. Okay, so that just turns the display back on again. That's cool though. It does work when it's off. All right, let's try this. So UK Vapor has a good suggestion. Let's see if we can get it to turn on the TV. Let's see what happens. Okay, Google, turn on the TV.
Okay, turning kitchen on.
Ah, how about that? That is cool. All right. So, and sorry everybody if I'm setting off all of your devices. I will on the full review, we'll have this muted. And what I need to do before I forget is to start writing down some notes on this thing so I can get through. I'm going to probably shoot the review on this tomorrow. So let us do that real quick. I'll probably like sideload some game streaming stuff on here just so we can try that out. Because I don't have, I wonder if Stadia's on here. I doubt it. Let's take a look. Let's look for like Stadia and GeForce Now and see what we've got. You know, it'd be funny if Stadia was on this and not on Chromecast. Stadia. I didn't find that. Let me go and search up here. I will say I really like the new interface on the Chromecast. I think it's really good. Stadia. Nothing. Okay, so no Stadia. What about, oh, GeForce Now is right down there. Cool. So let's do that real quick. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, you know, with all the restrictions and part of the problem for NVIDIA has been the fact that all these developers have been so mean to them and just pulling the games off of it. I've found some real value from GeForce Now. I like it quite a bit. And while this is going, let me do like a little Amazon Prime Video and see if we can Chromecast it over. So here we've got Prime Video. And my kids love like the kid stuff on Prime. So here's like Super Wings. So let us, I guess I have to start playing first before it pops up the, oh, they have profiles now too. That's even better. All right. There it is. Okay. So we're going to hit the Chromecast icon. And Kitchen, I'm pretty sure this is the same. You know, I think I might have named this the same as my other thing. Well, let's see what happens. Kitchen. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so you could Chromecast. I'm going to mute this to spare you from the, I got to get out of this real quick. Okay, cool.
From a super mouse.
All right. So that works. So you can do some Chromecasting. And it looks like the Chromecast support's actually pretty good here. So that's good. All right, give me a second here, folks. I got to start my little cheat sheet for the review. And then what we'll do is get the remote, the game controller here paired up as well. So let me go back to my other thing here. So it's not all bad, right? I mean, it's got its good things, and it's got some things that are not so good, namely that it's not a 1080p set. Is that important in the kitchen? I don't know. The speakers are good. They're not like as good as the Echo Studio. They're not audiophile quality, but you've got a good range of sound with some tinniness at the higher frequency sounds. So give me a second here just to write down a few notes. So we're going to make sure that people know that it's 24 inches, 720p only. And we want to do a couple of demo things. The assistant, Jake is going to, Jake hates it when I review this stuff because he's got to mute out all the voice commands. So I might just do one and then use the remote for some of the other ones there. So So for the assistant, we're going to do with TV off, turn TV on, show that off, show some other stuff. But we need to talk about, and this is to Travis's point, we need to talk about why this is different than your Nest thing. Like, it's not going to work the same way in the kitchen. I don't know what they call it. I guess they call that the Nest now, right? It's no longer the Google Home, but you know what I mean. I think there's some variation there. We want to show some game streaming. We want to show Chromecasting, and I'll use Amazon Prime Video because that is not available as an app. We'll talk about live TV. And I think that's a real strength of this, by the way, is the fact that, you know, it's got the TV Tuner app like front and center. So if you have that installed, you're good to go. We're going to want to look at the HDMI inputs, so we'll hook up my switch, I guess, to it later. Gaming directly on it, so we'll try that. And what I'm going to do now is, let me switch this into Bluetooth direct input mode. We're going to pair up my favorite little game controller here, the 8BitDo Pro 30, or whatever it is, SN30 Pro Plus. And it just paired itself up with something which is not what this is. So let me just hit the pairing button here, and we're going to go and pair that up. And we'll test a couple of things. We'll try out GeForce Now and see if it works with that. And it's like a whole other help section here. I'll look at that later. Is there an update in here? I think, oh, these are just shortcuts to, all right, so let's go over here. And we're going to go and add a device to the mix. So we'll add a Bluetooth accessory. So of course it's got Bluetooth, so it should find the game controller here. Yep, there it is. We'll pair that sucker up. Yeah, so if you're looking to do this, like some emulation and stuff, okay, there we go. Okay. So we're good. All right, so now, yep, I can control everything with it. Awesome. So now we'll go over here. Somebody else was asking if does it have Moonlight on here. I think it does, so let's look for that. Moonlight I found is like available on everything. And I think it has like a list of stuff that I have installed on other devices that are not. Yeah, I want to get this in there too. So let's get Pac-Man installed on there just to get that going. I like to demo this game because it's a good example of a casual game, and it's actually a lot of fun. I really like that Pac-Man game. So let's look for Moonlight. And I'm so excited because I'm like ahead this week on my videos, so it's like one of those days where I'm not rushing. I always hate when I have to rush. Okay, so let's go back here. Oops. Do a search. I have a conference call at 5. Shoot. So let me go over here to Moonlight and see if we can find that on here. I've been having trouble getting Moonlight to work with my gaming laptop recently, which is why we haven't been featuring it all that much. Yeah, here's Moonlight. Steam Link is on here too. I'll throw Steam Link on for the heck of it. Parsec is on here, Rainway. Rainway is pretty good. I've been playing a lot with Rainway. Rainway is great for Chromebooks. Matt Green says, Jim Browning. Yeah, I love, Jim Browning is awesome. He's been like, you know what I love is these guys that are responsible in their, I don't want to call him a vigilante because I don't think that's a good, I think that's a fair explanation for what he does. But Jim Browning researches these scammers from overseas, and he's able to break into their networks, and he just lives in their networks for a while and has done some tremendously good work. And he's more effective at getting these scammers taken down than governments are. Like, he's really focused on it. He's done a great job. All right. Chad wants to know, does it have a setting to turn off after a certain period of time? I would imagine it does. And an ambient, right, the ambient screensaver mode. We'll look at that next. So let's get that going. I don't have my gaming stuff booted up at the moment, so we're going to do GeForce Now real quick just to see how it works. So we're going to go down here to GeForce Now. I may have to log into it real quick, so let me do that. I think I can log in with my Google account. And we'll give that a shot real quick. And then the big question for my wife is going to be whether or not she wants this in the kitchen. That's the big question. I don't know if she's going to want this in the kitchen. You know, the big thing will be, you know what we use more than anything on that current Nest thing is the timer. The timer function is a big deal in this house because we look after the children as far as when it's time to go for bed, timer. That's what we do. Okay, so log in to get started. Hang on, I just got to get this set up on my phone real quick to get that going. And log into NVIDIA. Okay, continue. All right, there we go. And now, and Matt Green says, ooh, vMix Social. Yes, we are using vMix Social. It works on YouTube, not on the Amazon shopping chat that we're on, but I've been using it quite a bit. It's been fun. And Mohammed says, does that mean the recipe advertisement on the box is misleading? I believe it is, because you're not getting, you're getting recipes, right? But, right, like you're not getting the recipe. You're getting the YouTube video. I'm going to point that out actually in the video. I'm going to put that as one of my notes also. I mean, theoretically, it's not wrong. You're getting a recipe on YouTube, but you're right. It's not how the Google Nest works. So we need to talk about that. And people like that recipe thing. I haven't been using it that much. Actually, let me do the timer real quick. Give me a 5-minute timer.
All right, 5 minutes. And that's starting now.
Now, do I see it anywhere? That's the other question. So I see that it started a timer, but I don't see the timer anywhere. Oh, that's not going to work for my wife. That's not going to work. That's probably the disqualifier right there, because when you, on the Nest, when you say, give me a 5-minute timer, you get a timer, and it does its thing. That's going to be bad. Now I wonder, too, if it's going to set the things up upstairs. Turn off the timer.
Got it. I canceled it.
Let me try one more thing with this. Give me a 5-minute timer.
Sure, 5 minutes. And that's starting now.
Show me the timer. Show me the timer.
4 minutes and 53 seconds
Yeah,
left.
that ain't going to work for my wife. That's not going to work. Now, can we do a second timer? Start a second timer for rice, 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
Okay, rice. For how long?
3 minutes and 25 seconds. Not that it ever cooked.
Second timer.
Okay.
Rice for 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Starting now.
Show me the timer.
You have 2 timers. The 3-minute and 25-second timer called rice is...
Cancel the timer. Cancel the timer. So
Sure, consider it canceled.
I think I got to demo that. This might be important to kind of demo the two things, like just out of the gate, that you would use the Nest device in the kitchen for. I think that's something we're going to want to demo. So we're going to do demo. So we'll do the recipe thing and then the timer thing. Because you get a timer, but you don't see it. Now, if you had the audio-only Google Home device, same experience, right? No big deal. But if you have a screen, my expectation was I'd see a timer on here. So it doesn't kind of meet that. And I guess you could get a timer app, but we'll have to see what happens there. Jason says, don't you think you should have asked your wife before I bought it? We have this good relationship in the sense that I figured out a way to monetize my hobby, so I don't have to worry about the questioning as to why is all this stuff coming into the house. So, but I think that timer thing right out of the gate, that's not going to fly with her. So we'll probably be putting this, one of you will be buying this soon. And Travis said, like, because that's me, these things live in the kitchen and they do really well at the recipe and the timer thing. And what's really cool about the Google Nest thing is that every time you ask for a new timer, it'll like shrink the screen down and add, so you can see them moving at the same time. And I was, before the pandemic hit, I was doing the meal kits. It's weird that you would cancel the meal kits during the pandemic, but we just got sick of it. And you know, you'd be tracking multiple things cooking, and so I could see both 2 or 3 timers at the same time on the screen, so I knew where everything was at, and I liked being able to see that timer ticking down. Can't do it here. That's a problem. Old man PJ, okay, so you missed the earlier part. You don't have to hold down the remote. I'm just doing this for courtesy because you can trigger it with the typical Google word, but that sets off everybody's devices. So I'm trying to be very nice about that. Okay. Tech Nerd says he sees a dead pixel in the center. Let me see if we can pull up a screen where I can look at that. What can we do to, we need like an all-white screen, right? I don't think there's a dead, oh, you know what, you might be seeing this little piece of dirt there. By the way, isn't it great that we have such a great, let's see if she can show us a white screen. Show me a white screen. There you go, 24 hours of a pure white screen. So let's see if we can see the dead pixel here. Would it show up if it's all white? I think it would. Yeah, I don't see anything off here. Let me do like green. Try that. Show me a green screen. How much you want to bet it's going to show me a green screen?
Okay,
like,
here are some videos.
yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay. All right, so let's try out GeForce Now real quick, and then I got a jet. And we'll play the Pac-Man game too, maybe. So we'll go down to GeForce Now, because now we've got it all dialed in. And why don't we do, did No Man's Sky come off? Because it was on here before. There it is. You know what might be fun to play? Have you guys played this Wreckfest? This game is awesome. Let's play that real quick. And we've got the gamepad paired up. And now I've got this on Ethernet. Oh, the timer that I asked for it to stop has finished. So at least it did what it was supposed to do. And now it won't go away. There it goes. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with GeForce Now, this is a service from NVIDIA. It's not that expensive. I think it's like $5 a month. There's a free tier. And what I like about it is that it links up with your existing Steam and Epic libraries. And I think it supports Uplay also. So any game that you own, you can boot up and stream it. And so as you can see here, it's connecting to my Steam library here. And now it's going to run, and this is actually running in the cloud. And I forgot how to activate the mouse thing here. I think it's like hold down back maybe, one of these buttons. So sometimes these games don't always start up right away because you have to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to cheat. Let's plug this thing in real quick. We could probably reduce the resolution on this game. So usually it does a pretty good job of getting the settings automatically put together, but sometimes it doesn't quite get you there. So we'll just do a quick little. Oh, that doesn't seem to be working either. Well, I tried that. Let's see. That's the Ethernet. I forgot what button enables the. There it goes. Okay, so we have to go to right stick. There it goes. Okay, so we're just going to. A lot of lag here. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. And this is like a destruction derby game. So let's see what happens here with this. All right, so enter to start. Actually, we're going to hit the, there we go. And what's also cool about GeForce Now is that it syncs up with your existing accounts. So if you have like, the game that you're playing on Steam, if you boot it up here, you're going to be able to play it on your computer when you get back to your computer. Although I don't know if this game supports sync. And they've got like a couple of fun races here and stuff. So we can do like, they have demolition racing. They've got like arena stuff. Oh, let's see, which one am I doing right now? Am I doing this one? There we go. And the physics model is really cool on this. Although I'm sensing a lot of lag with the Bluetooth. And what I've found over the years is that Bluetooth on these cheap Android devices can be all over the place. So some of them are really good. Others have super bad input latency on their Bluetooth chipsets. This might be one of those devices. We'll find out here. Let's get started. No, I don't want to quit. Okay, here we go. Yeah, watch this. I'm not even gonna go because like, let these guys kill themselves. This is not a multiplayer game. This is just kind of a, yeah, so the input lag here is terrible. So I'm going to have to try to plug in something to it. Let's watch. See how long that took? And granted, there's some weight to this car, so it's not. But I mean, it's keeping up, and see that's to my point where even though this is not a very fast device from its onboard chipset, it's optimized for this kind of activity because really when you think about it, game streaming is not much different than streaming from Netflix. You're basically streaming video. The only difference here is that we're pushing back input from the device. And so that's why it's a little laggy because it's not all that powerful, and I'm guessing the Bluetooth radio here is not the best in the world. These controllers, by the way, have the lowest lag of like a non-Xbox controller I've tested. So it's not the controller, it's the Bluetooth chipset here. But this is a fun game. Now this, by the way, if you're just tuning in, this is not running locally on this. So this is running through GeForce Now. So this thing could never run a game like this. There's just too much going on. The physics alone would yeah, this would run it, but maybe if it even could run on this as a Windows device, which it isn't, this would run it probably a frame or two a second, if that. And I think we're streaming like probably about 30 or 40, 50 megabits per second downstream right now. But I've got that fancy new internet connection, so that's like not even 10% of my overall speed now. And this is on Ethernet, by the way, so Wi-Fi isn't bad in this room because the access point is right above me. So, all right, gives us a good idea as to how it's looking. But here, check this out. So I'll hit the button. That's how bad the lag is. All right. And TechNerd says it has HBO Max. Yeah, it does have HBO Max. So it's got that, but no Amazon Prime, although it does support Chromecasting, and we found that we could Chromecast Prime Video to it even though it wasn't on device. So that was encouraging also. So I mean, there's some good things about this, and there's some not so good things about it. And I think this is like a very specific kind of device for a specific situation. And I just know, like, all of you out there in the audience, you love this Android TV stuff. So when I saw this, I said, you know what, let me get this and see what you all think of it. How do we get the heck out of here? Exit. There we go. Okay. I think it's exiting. There we go. Okay. And then this was being streamed from GeForce Now, so it's going to pop us out. They'll cancel their thing. And again, if I had saved the game, it would sync that up. So good stuff. All right, so let's go back to the home screen here, and we got one more thing to try out, and that's the Pac-Man game, and then I got to get out of here. So let's go over to Pac-Man 256, and this is a game running natively on the device. Redacted. I love that you kept your name redacted. That's awesome. It reminds me of Flat Out 2. Yeah, this is Wreckfest. And I think it might be from the people that made Flat Out, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yes, Toys Are for Boys. We got to check out the amount of storage as well. So this is a game you actually play with the remote control because it's designed for a touch screen. But, you know, it works. You know. And, you know, for the most part, these Android devices are, you know, the developers of these games are targeting this kind of hardware. They're not targeting that fancy new phone you just bought, or the NVIDIA Shield for that matter. So, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we need to check out the amount of storage that it has because we did not see that. I'm going to see if I can get, oops. And by the way, somebody asked about the HD home run. Supports the HD home run, no problem. Let's go to, is it under about, or storage? Here we go. Total space, 4.4 gigabytes. That is it. And I've got 2 gigs available after I installed all this stuff on it. So we need to mark that down. I got to figure out what processor it has on it too. So basic transportation, folks, for sure. All right. H wants to know if I had any issues with the new Chromecast. It's got really laggy and factory reset did not fix it. I have not. It's not a very high, you know, it's not a very fast device to begin with, so that could play a role in that. And I just killed my little title here. But I have not experienced that, although I would bet you they're going to be doing a lot of updates on that thing. My biggest gripe on the new Chromecast is that it's got such a great personalized experience, yet you can't have multiple users on it. So that's that. And I have another agreement from D Tech Nerd here about the timer feature. Yeah, you got to be able to see the timer, right? That's a big deal. I'm going to take some B-roll tonight of our timer in action because it'll run a timer, you just can't see it. So that ain't good. But beyond that, I think it's pretty decent here. So, but we've had a good amount of folks popping in here today. Oh, we got another super chat that I missed earlier from Joshua Cardona. Thank you very much for your super chat. I missed that earlier. And I think what it is my vMix Social doesn't pull up, I got to just kind of monitor both, because it doesn't pull up super chats. Oh, I guess it did. I'm sorry. I just missed it. I'm very sorry, Joshua. So I want to thank you for your super chat from Canada. Thank you very much. I think all the super chats today came from Canada, my friends to the north. So we'll see what happens. Nicholas M. has the same gripe as I do with the individual profiles. I can't imagine them not doing that because it's like that. Like I love that cross-app recommendation engine. It's superb. I think it's kind of creepy that that device had never seen me before and it knew everything I liked. That was a little creepy, but beyond that, it was good. And in case you're wondering, folks, this is a new feature of Android TV where you get advertisements at the top. So that is new, even on old versions, because this is Android 8, and we're getting all these ads that are going to pop up on there. So check it out. Redacted, yeah, you will love Wreckfest. If you like the flat-out games, like this has everything. And what I also like about it is that it integrates a lot of the stuff that I like from the old PlayStation Destruction Derby games. So you saw that arena battle there. You have races. The physics is awesome. Like the damage models on the cars is like the cars get crumpled up. It's just really, it's really fun. It's really, really fun. I bought that in early access a while ago. It's just gotten better and better. So it's been good. All right, everybody. I've got to take off now and help out upstairs. So what I did is I'm so far ahead of schedule today. I'm so excited. So I shot a video this morning for a laptop. We're going to review that Acer laptop. That's done and shot. Jake's going to edit that. I did the wrap up on Sunday, and I've already uploaded and scheduled it. So that's just ready to go. So I'm like done for the day for the most part, unless my wife has things for me to do upstairs. So we will have to see what goes on there. Oh, Abdullah Sadi has a question about the mouse I was playing with. Where did I put it? I just put it down and I lost it. This trackpad, I'm not crazy about it. It's on Amazon. You can find it there. I think it's called it's called KeyMaker. If you click through on my link and search for KeyMaker, you'll see this. I would like it more if it was a physical ClickPad, but it's not. You have to tap it, and there's no haptic feedback. So it's cool, and there's not many Windows-compatible trackpads out there. But if it was a ClickPad, I would have liked it more. I like that physical pushback there. So that's it. And you know, I really appreciate it, by the way, when you thank me for the stream, because I should be thanking you all for watching. So I'm really tickled by people that appreciate the stream, because you know, I'm grateful that you're watching. So I'm grateful that you're grateful too. It's gratitude. It's a really good thing. So I'm glad you all enjoyed it. This was fun. I thought you all would find this interesting. I thought it was interesting. I still do. So I will. Yeah, I was going to ask my wife if she wanted this upstairs in place of the Nest thing, but the lack of timers and the recipes, that's a deal breaker. So we're going to probably pack this back up and make it available to all of you. So, and thank you for your kind words there, Toys for Boys, and your super chat. And yes, not one dropout in 100 minutes of streaming. In fact, we have not had, I'm cursing myself now, or whatever, you know what I'm doing. We have not had any dropouts since the new connection got installed. So that problem has been solved for a lot of money. But, and the best part is we were able to up the YouTube resolution to 1080p. What we're going to do, after I get caught up with, I've got so much stuff that's coming in that I got to get all these reviews done, because it's like, this is the busy season. Once we get past the busy season, I think we'll see where everything's at. Maybe next month, maybe when I get caught, I don't know, we'll figure it out. We're going to do a whole week of production stuff, because I got in a bunch of cameras and switchers and stuff that I want to review. And then I really want to get all this stuff going at 4K, because I can upload so fast now that why not? So we're going to get that going. I'm going to move cameras around a little bit. I'm going to update a little bit of lighting. What I want to do is push this camera back further in the room so I can get a little bit more bokeh behind me. And I'm not going to make it like fancy yet, but you know, a little update. And I'm going to get a light on me to kind of bring me out a little bit more. I went to a lighting thing at the YouTube space like 2 years ago, and I'm finally getting around to doing everything he recommended. So we'll have to see what goes on there. Now, Jonathan just says that his updated to I wonder if it's throttling it. Let's try one more system update, and then I'm gonna get out of here before my kids start looking for me. I want to hear how school went today. I just want this pandemic thing to be over. My poor kids are just, they're fine, but the mask thing is they do. I wear my mask everywhere. I'm not complaining about the masks, but my daughter was like, oh, we have to go to school and have to have masks on. And, you know, it's hard for them because it's such a reminder that things are not how they were. But they're great with the masks, and I'm glad they are, because the longer we can keep everybody healthy, the longer we can keep school open. But you know, when I say, oh, school's on Monday, you got a full week of school. Oh, great, but do I have to wear a mask the whole time? Yes, you know, and it's okay. They're getting by, but they have to do it because we have to wear them. It's important. And I keep telling people, like, you know, the longer everyone can keep the masks going and we can keep that school open, the better it's going to be for everybody. So it's a little bit of inconvenience to put the mask on, but it's going to keep us all able to keep those kids in school, and that's the most important thing. All right, Rob Hanks said I should get the update soon. I might just leave this on and see if maybe it has to queue up to get that, because I know a lot of these manufacturers tend to throttle the updates. So we'll leave it on and see if we get that. All right. Redacted liked the Pixel review. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I like the phone a lot. You know, people, you know what's funny is I found with when you review things, especially mobile phones or computers, that, and this goes back to my days as an Apple II user as a kid, there's a degree of tribalism around devices. In my day as a kid, it was Apple II versus Commodore versus IBM, right? When I got on the internet, it was AOL versus the rest of the world. And now it's Android versus Apple to some degree. But now within Android, there are people who are just viciously supportive of their platforms, right? So you could be a huge Pixel fan and hate Samsung and hate everything else, right? And so if you say one thing that's not good, that's negative about the phone, it's like, oh, you know. And I think what's important for people to know about the phone, and I pointed this out, is that this new phone, it looks beautiful, but it doesn't perform as well as the old one. It actually performs in some cases, at half the performance level. And I put that in the title because I think it's important for people that are upgrading from the Pixel 4 to the 5 to know that there's a big performance gulf between the two. And typically, I think in the minds of consumers, when I go from Pixel 4 to 5, I should see a 4 to 5 performance bump. And we see that with just about every flagship phone. Not here. It actually is running at the same performance level as their entry-level phone does, except it has more features that the entry-level phone doesn't have, like 5G and everything else. So that was the one thing I felt was important to point out. Do you notice it? No, because my meeting is in 29 minutes. You don't notice it because for what most people do with the phone, it's not something that you're going to experience, but it is something that I think you notice when you're taking a picture, and the processing time's a little bit longer than the prior version, so that's kind of what happens there. So we'll have to see what happens and with this. I really do like the Pixel phones, though. And I like the Pixel phones because I think if you look at how Apple's become so successful with the iPhone is that they control the entire stack. Everything, the hardware, the chips. They don't make the components necessarily, but the actual silicon, that the logic of the system is made by Apple. The phone is made by Apple, of course. Actually, it's made by Foxconn, but you know what I mean. The operating system, everything from the whole stack is theirs. And in the case of the Pixel phones, and also the Microsoft devices too, for that matter, this is what Google wants their operating system to be like. So even though these phones may not be the top sellers, it is the most pure expression of what Android is. There's nothing layered onto it like the other manufacturers do. It's just clean, and I like that about these phones. And the cameras are good. The cameras are really good on these. And in fairness, this does cost less than the last version cost, but you're getting less performance with it. So that's that there. Opinion on the new iPhones. Well, I did order one. I was not planning to get one, but I realized that my wife's phone is like 2 years old, and I usually do the hand-me-down thing with her, so I figured I would give her, my Pro 11 and get the 12. So I am getting it in. We'll test it. And Apple does the opposite. Apple's phones are so powerful that nobody knows what to do with all that processing power. So it's tricky. And here's another. I'm going to do a video on this topic actually that Greg M just brings up about 5G. There is no place I can get 5G locally here. We have Verizon, and so now there's like different types of 5Gs. You have 5G that's running over the existing 4G infrastructure, and then you've got the millimeter wave stuff, which is the little cell towers every 50 feet. And there's like 5 or 6 blocks in Hartford, 45 minutes north of me, that have the millimeter wave installed. I can guarantee you I will never get millimeter wave down here where I live, never. So we'll have like essentially the same performance. I think what's going to happen with 5G is that this is actually about the carrier's profitability, because the 5G technology can squeeze more people onto the existing frequencies, so they get more capacity. We don't get that much, I think, for the most part, unless you've got a millimeter wave tower near you. But you know, there's just not enough fiber around here, I think, to even make it work. So we'll see what happens there. And John Moshe, this is what I am. I think this is going to be the tech story of. I think it's going to be this tech story of the next 5 years, which is Apple's new silicon. So the real kicker here is the chip that's going to be in that new iPhone and is in the new iPad Air is the same chip that's going to be in whatever new Mac they announce in a few weeks. And that, to me, is really intriguing, because to the point with this TV, I think this is a great example. This chip, while you can't run like the game that we were just playing, we couldn't run that game on here, but these chips are optimized for specific things. In the case of this TV, it is optimized for video decoding, right? Apple, in their chipset, can optimize for specific things that they know people do with their computers. It could be a very good video editor. It can be very good at a handful of different types of higher end tasks, but do it with less power. So my hope, what I really want, and it's all hooked up right now, but I have the 12-inch MacBook here, and what I really want to see is an ARM version of the 12-inch MacBook that I could edit video on. That would be awesome. So I can edit video on my little MacBook now, but it's very slow to encode. It's not ideal. So something that could work as well as my MacBook Pro with the big Intel processor would be great. Now, because it's good at video editing and it's optimized for that, it means it may not be good at games or something else, right? These Macs are going to become, I think, much more purpose-oriented as a result. So when you buy a PC, it can do anything. The Macs, I think, it's going to be limited to the things that people do with Macs. But I think this is going to be a big story when they move away from that. I got a few more minutes here. I'm going to take a few more questions here. And Rob Hanks is happy with the OnePlus phones. Those are good phones, good value for sure. I like the OnePlus phones. The last one I looked at was the OnePlus 3, I think, a couple of years back. Aaron wants to know about the Samsung Note 9. I think that's a good phone. I think Jake has that phone. And you know what? Like, those Snapdragon chips are, like, especially on Android, have not been fully utilized yet, which is probably why Google, when they designed this phone, said we don't need anything as powerful as the last version. So, that's why they went a step backwards. So I think the Notes are good. Big. They're big phones. So if you like a big phone, that one's going to be big. There's another defector from Apple. Mark Smith left the iPhone for the OnePlus 6, preferred it in every way except camera. And that's the other thing, is that I have seen on the camera side, so like the pictures out of these Pixel phones, even the Pixel 4a, which is the entry-level phone, the pictures are great out of those. And by the way, somebody was asking about screensaver. Look at that. It's doing the Chromecast screensaver. The still photos out of these Pixels is awesome, but it's not so great for video. Still not. It does 4K 60 now, which it didn't do before, but the iPhone is still much better on the video side. So that is something that it's hard to beat Apple on the video, and that's why I use the iPhone. That's why I'm an iPhone guy right now. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't need Apples for anymore. But video on these phones, out of all the lenses, is great. Actually, what was also interesting was that the ultra-wide lens on the new Pixel phone doesn't do video. on the iPhone, 4K 60. So they do some just amazing video work, which is why I use those. All right. Well, everybody, I have to run. I've really enjoyed, as always, doing these streams. I'm probably going to be back on tomorrow because we're going to be doing I'm going to be packing up stuff. It's going to be like one of my office hours things. So I've got like 3 or 4 different PCs, and I want to run this new 3D Mark benchmark on there to build up my database. So we've got, I think, 3 PCs, a ThinkPad, an IdeaPad, the Acer I just reviewed. I got my gaming machine over there. I've got iPads and phones. We're just going to run this benchmark on everything and see what we get. So that's going to be kind of fun. And I might be doing that kind of in the morning here in the eastern US. So just mark your notifications. I don't always plan these things because it's too much pressure to plan a stream. So, so there you go. And that's what we will do. Redacted wants to know, no iPhone 12 mini. No, you know why? Because I like the Pros because of the camera selection, and that's why I go with the Pro. And it's faster, so that's why I buy the Pro. So I probably won't get the 12 mini. I did review the SE. So what I typically do, like whatever the lowest end phone is from Apple, that's the one I review because most people don't review that phone. Otherwise, like I know, I can tell you my iPhone review will not get the views that this TV will get because everybody reviews the phone. It's just too universal. All right, well, I'm going to run. I thank you all for tuning in. And stay tuned, set the notifications. There will be more. And I want to thank some folks here. So Toys for Boys and Joshua Cardona, both from Canada, for your super chats. Much appreciated. And we'll be back again probably tomorrow with another stream. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'm probably going to shoot the review on this thing because I think I'm ready to do my analysis. I'll play a little bit more with it tonight, but I got a good feel for this now. So that's going to do it. We'll talk to you all soon. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.